Good evening. Welcome to the monthly Anointed Body Cleanser and Healer Aloe Vera Juice monthly Zoom session. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're grateful you took the time out of your schedule to be here with us. We are here every second Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Time to ask Miss Rebecca anything about aloe vera juice and the topical. You can submit your questions in advance by going to abch.avjuice@gmail.com or call 202-556-3181 and leave a message. First, let's go over some housekeeping rules. If you're calling in on Zoom, use the reactions button to raise your hand to ask a question. Or you can also ask your question in the chat box. Just write your question out, and the Aloe Vera team is in the background monitoring the chat box, and also will also be able to answer questions as well. To unmute, click the button again. If you're calling in on a cell phone, 6 is to unmute, 9 is to raise your hand. If you have a question, please raise your hand and wait until you're called upon before you speak. We will have a slide at the end of the session that will give you more information about the company and how to place an order. Before we get started, I would like to remind you this meeting is being recorded, and the information you hear tonight is not scientific medical advice and is not meant to replace any advice you receive from your healthcare professional. At this time, we will have words of inspiration. Right. I would like to share something with you that I often have to remind myself of. Ways to have a good day despite your circumstances. Remember that God is with you wherever you go. Pray for help and whatever it is you need. Praise God for the things that are going right, no matter how small. Thank the Lord ahead of time for what He is doing in your situation. Talk to a friend, a family member about your circumstances. Treat yourself to something small, whether it's a candy bar at the grocery store, a movie, a book that's on sale, or a small cup of coffee of your favorite gourmet. Do something for someone else. Smile at someone. Spend some quality time with your kids, nieces, nephews, or a friend's children. It's easy for us to have a good day every day. We should start with a heavenly mindset and ask God for help with whatever we need. Next, we should thank Him for what He is doing in our situation, even if we can't see it yet. Finally, do something for someone else during the day. When we navigate our day while listening to the Lord and looking to see Him in our day, we can't go wrong. Thank you. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Rebecca. Miss Rebecca Brown is the CEO, the founder, and the developer of ABC&H Aloe Vera Juice and Topical. Miss Rebecca will take questions for 30 minutes. Then we will hear testimonies. If we don't get to your question tonight, we will be here Friday, 1 month from today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you need an answer to your question before next month, please put your question in the chat box, and we will get an answer to you. Welcome, Miss Rebecca.
Hello. How are you?
Just fine. And you?
I'm fine, exhausted, but I'm fine.
Oh, I tell you, God is really with you. I don't know where you get all of the energy to do all the things that you do, but we know it's not you.
Exactly.
And I thank God for you.
Yes. Okay. Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you. And my concern tonight is what I've been dealing with for the past month or more, and it's cancer. I've never, and I've done cancer research for 8 years. I have never seen cancer as aggressive as it is now. And make no mistake about it, it is definitely linked to these viruses that's roaming around in our society. Just last week, I got a call about a young man, 47 years old, is fighting desperately for his life. I met with him about 11 o'clock last Thursday night, and he was the epitome of what cancer will do to you. It took his strength. He could barely talk. He could barely sit up. But thank God, after he and I visited, I gave him some information to help him. And I spoke to his mother today about 5 o'clock. The doctors cannot believe what has happened to him. He could not sit up in his mother's car. He's now sitting up. He's now responding to the aloe vera. It is flushing his system of the cancer because his cancer spread throughout the body, especially in the bones. And in order to stop it, he had to do certain things. And that was not drink aloe vera 8 ounces. He had to drink it all day long. And for the past week, he has been obedient. He drank it all day long. He had to drink purified water all day long. And he actually saw the cancer being removed from his body. He now can sit up by himself. His energy has returned. He can now walk, and the doctors are stunned because they cannot believe in a week how this man has turned around. He will be coming home next week. He's losing blood because the cancer was absorbing his blood. He's had about 3 blood transfusions. And I don't know whether you realize it or not, but a blood transfusion is a very dangerous thing. And here's why. When you take on someone else's blood, blood is your lifeline. You are also taking on that person's characteristics. So that's why you find a lot of people who are ill and had blood transfusions, they're schizophrenic because they don't know who they really are. And so to solve that problem with the blood transfusions, he is now going to start taking Lydia Pinkham. I don't know whether any of you understand or know what Lydia Pinkham is, but Lydia Pinkham will generate and restore, enrich, and purify blood. So the blood that he has, the aloe vera is going to work on that because it gets into the bloodstream. So it's going to delete whoever else's DNA that's in this blood, and it's going to write his DNA into the blood, and then Lydia Pinkham will kick in and build up the red blood cells to give his body the oxygen that it needs. So it's a very complex, difficult, agonizing, but it works. So in saying that, let me just share with you some of the things that you need to know. When I say DNA, that's really a molecule that contains genetic information responsible for the development and function of an organism. The DNA allows this information to be passed from one generation to the next. Therefore, when DNA is damaged, the damage occurs in the genes, and the DNA is responsible for repairing it. If the DNA cannot repair the error, the cell corrupts itself and becomes cancerous. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes in the body. And a lot of the reasons for a lot of these problems, you do not drink enough water. You have to drink enough water. Your body weight is 75% water. And if you can imagine, water takes things, nutrients into the body. But on the other hand, it flushes them out of the body, any waste and any toxins that's living in the body. And just remember, it is your responsibility to drink water. And I'm not talking about a sweet liquid. I'm talking about H2O. As simple as that. H2O. Drink it all day long. The average person should drink 2 liters of water per day. Okay? You can prevent some of these issues, because if you don't have enough water to flush the cells, to help the cells get rid of all of the toxins, bacteria, and viruses, they're going to stay in your system. They're going to create problems. You're going to become sick. There's no other way to say it. It's just that simple. Just drink water. If you don't drink enough water, you can have a heart attack. Because think about it. Blood operates flowing through the vessels, veins, and arteries. There are 2 components to it. Serum, which is the liquid part, and plasma, which is the thick part that makes up the red color for blood. But if you're not drinking enough water, the serum is not enough liquid to flow through the vessels, veins, and arteries. And so you end up with heart issues. You will end up with a stroke simply by not drinking enough water. So this is something you control. You don't have to go to the doctor to drink water. Just drink it. But understand, if you don't, you will suffer the consequences. It's just that simple. Now, RNA. is a long strand of cells that produces protein. And again, it carries genetic information about viruses through the cells. RNA will make changes that alters the proteins, and in cancer patients, these changes may lower the protein that can kill the cancer cells. So you have the DNA, which identifies the cancer cell, and you have the RNA, which kicks in and tries to destroy the cancer cell by lowering the amount of protein in the cells. And understand this: what causes cancer is bacteria and viral infections. Anytime you have infections in the body and you cannot clear the body of these infections, you are the perfect candidate for cancer. That's why it is vital to cleanse your system. And in order to do that, how many people that you know that actually know how to cleanse the body? And I will give you a perfect example. Every day you take a bath or a shower to cleanse the outside of the body. But every day you eat 2 or more meals per day. The body does not always use all of the food. You do not expel all of it from the body. You have a lot of it sitting in the system that needs to be expelled. How do you get rid of it? Most people don't, because they don't know how to. And if you don't drink enough water, that's not going to help you. But even though if you drink enough water, some of this toxins, waste cannot be removed simply by drinking water. That is the function of the aloe vera juice. It will force all waste, all toxins, all bacteria, and all viruses out of your system. And the reason it is so vital to the system, you have to remember, bacteria and viruses love what we love, and that is sweets and junk. But just think on this level. What can survive in a bitter environment? No bacteria can survive in a bitter environment. No virus can survive in a bitter environment. And that's why it is so successful, because it kills bacteria, it kills viruses, it removes waste, it removes toxins, and all obstacles that's going to cause the body harm. And so what happens? It leaves cleanliness. And that's what makes you healthy. And now people are asking, why is it so bitter? Because it's a cleanser. That's why it's bitter. What sense does it make to drink something that's sweet? You already have that. It does not produce a cleaning environment. And so for those of you who said the taste is off her, that's true, but it's the best thing for you. So my advice is keep drinking and watch your health improve. Now, understand that a virus is a living organism. You cannot see it with your eyes. You can barely see it with a microscope. Here is the issue with it. It must have a living host to survive because it needs oxygen. And in order to get oxygen, it finds its way to a host. And normally that host is you. And what it's doing in you, the virus itself. And let me just explain to you what it is. A virus is an infective agent that typically consists of a nucleic acid molecule in a protein coat, okay? This virus has a piece of code which is capable of copying itself and its detrimental effects, and it will corrupt the system and destroy the data that the DNA has trying to rebuild your cells. Once the virus destroys the code of the DNA, it is now replicating itself and growing inside of you, and it will kill you. Unless you have something to kill it, it will kill you. It's just that simple. And so it is very, very important that we understand what we're dealing with. It is not something dead. This thing is alive. And it is competing with you for your oxygen in your body because it needs oxygen to survive. And in order for it to survive, it is out to destroy whatever stands in its path. Whatever stands in its path, doesn't care. There are ways that you can actually prevent cancer. And that control comes from you. In order to prevent cancer, number one, drink as much water as you can on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about soft drinks, power drinks. I mean water, period. H2O. Please do that. If you smoke, stop. If you are not exercising, you must exercise because the body needs that activity to keep itself from atrophying. Your muscles need the exercise. Your muscles need the water. Every part of your body uses water. You must eat more plant-based foods because eating meat, if you break it down, it is very difficult for the digestive system for two reasons. It wasn't designed to eat meat. And whether you know it or not, when you eat meat, especially thick red meat, it takes 7 days for it to digest in your system. By the time it digests, it has decayed and the body can't use it. And for people who a lot of times have colon cancer, that's what it comes from. Clogs of meat that's stuck in the intestines, that's decayed, that is now causing bacteria, infection, viruses, and parasites are all living in the colon. And you have hydrochloric acid that is continuously secreting acid to get rid of it. So the body is under constant attack, fighting off food that it can't get rid of. So you're destroying yourself. You've got to take responsibility for you. You've got to do what you are supposed to do to help your body. Just think, all of the time and all of the years that you have abused your body, it kept you alive. It kept you alive. And you didn't care. You should limit the amount of alcohol that you put in your system. You should watch your weight. You should stand up more. For those people who love sitting, it's all right periodically, but stand up, walk around. And what's amazing, and a lot of people don't understand the abuse they put the body under. You're not eating right. You're not taking care of yourself. You're not drinking enough water. But you go and join the gym and abuse the body who is under attack. Because all that strenuous exercise put more work on the body. If you don't eat right, you don't drink enough water, you don't get enough sleep, and you don't properly take care of the body, what are you exercising for? What good is it going to do? It's going to kill you. Because that kind of abuse, the body can only take so much of it. Unless you're trying to commit suicide. Those are the kind of things you have to understand that you have to do for yourself. You have to protect your skin. That is because the ozone layer is gone. So you have these strong ultraviolet rays of radiation beaming from the sun, going directly into your body. Before the ozone layer was destroyed, it would protect us from those ultraviolet rays. But now that we've destroyed the ozone layer, there's no protection. So you are exposing your body directly to radiation. So the best times to stay out of the sun is midday. That's the hottest part of the day. And if you expose your body to that, you will come up with some type of skin cancer because of the radiation. It is extremely important that you understand. I've never seen this much, and I've been doing cancer research over 8 years. I've never seen cancer this much out of control. And years ago, cancer was in a specific age group. It is all over the ages. There is no specific age group. I've seen it in all groups. And understand this, cancer is a smart disease. Once it realizes that you have detected it, if you don't destroy it, the goal is it will destroy you. There's no ands, ifs, and buts about it. I have a family member right now that is suffering from cancer. I was in New York last weekend. I kept getting these calls about how severe he was. And this is a person who smoked all of his life with the pleading and begging. And he finally would say, well, I have to die from something. Well, he's right. He's dying from cancer. When I went to see him, they were telling me they were going to put him in hospice. And so I needed to come see him. So I left here last Saturday at 8 o'clock. I got to New York at midnight. I visited with him from midnight to 1 o'clock. I left there and went to my sister. But what amazed me, I don't think people understand what hospice is. Hospice is nothing more than euthanizing a human being. I don't know if any of you remember Jack Kevorkian, who used to do mercy killings. But these mercy killings were by request. And he would go in and he would take these people's lives. Well, the government put him on trial and they prosecuted him and they were going to send him to prison, but he died. What has happened now? The medical community has taken his mercy killing method and turned it into hospice. And so be very careful, because here's what they do to keep from taking the liability. When you put a person in hospice, there are two drugs that you give them. One is morphine, which will eventually stop your heart. It breaks down the muscles and organs, and it will stop your heart. The other one is an aura drug that will do the same thing. You are assigned to give these drugs to your family member. They won't, the hospital and the staff won't do it. They give it to you to give to them. And the premises in which they give it to you, they tell you that you are making them comfortable from their pain. All I can say to you, you are, because you're killing them. We're taking someone else's life by drugging them. You want to think about that. You want to think about that. When I saw my cousin last week, he said he was in no pain. He was very weak. And he was able to talk. And we had some conversation. And his wife says to me, we have to put him in hospice. And I asked why. She said to make him comfortable. And I sat her down and I had a conversation with her. And I said to her, you're killing him. If you get that medication and give it to him, you're going to kill him. So as of today, from what I understand, the hospice came in and set everything up, but they put the medication down the sink. Whatever time he has, let God take him out of here. Because whenever you do that to someone, you've got to live with committing murder. Because that's exactly what you've done. They don't tell you that, but that is what happens. And if you got a heart and you love this person, how could you kill them? We've got to be mindful of what we're asked to do. And you have to go back to what the Bible tells us. Life and death is in the power of your tongue. What you speak in the atmosphere will surely return to you. It will return to you. Be careful what you do and how you do it, because it will come back to you. Understand, we perish because of the lack of knowledge. You have to know more about who you are, how to take care of yourself, what to do and what not to do. Remember this, and I think about this a lot, and I understand now why God himself made this statement. God grieved the day he created man because of man's wickedness. And as powerful as God is, if he grieved the day that he created man, which is his creation, because of man's wickedness, what do you think we're suffering? You have to look at what is right and what is wrong. Because whatever you do, you are held accountable. You cannot use the excuse, I don't know, I didn't know. I was just talking to a young man just before I came on here. I'm meeting with him tomorrow. He said he drank a lot because he didn't know it was killing him. Now that he had type 2 diabetes, he realized he's got to stop drinking. That's just crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense. And how can you say you love God, you love everybody else, but you don't love yourself because you won't take care of yourself? When you make statements like that and you're in bad shape, you should shut up. Don't tell people you love them because you don't love you. You have to love you first. And the way it has been happening with this cancer, it has taken on a whole new venture. Every day I get a call. 2 or 3 people with cancer. And cancer is not to be taken lightly. It is the most treacherous disease that you can have. Just think of it this way. You're trapped in a body that's destroying you and you can't get out. That's how dangerous it is. So all I say to you is, please take care of yourself. Whatever understandings that you don't have, find out about it. Talk about it. Read about it. Because it will save your life. It will save your life. The doctors always recommend chemo and radiation. Be very careful, because here is what's going on. Chemo is nothing more than a poison. And the goal is for chemo to kill the cancerous cells. But what happens, it can't distinguish the cancer cells from your good cells, so it kills all of your cells. And that's why you see the person lose all life and succumb to the poison. to show you how God set it up, aloe does the exact same thing. But what it does, it goes in, it selects out the cancerous cells. It removes them from the body. And remember, by nature, the body must be in balance. Well, if you have cells removed, your body is out of balance. What the aloe does, it goes back and it generates new cells to replace the cancer cells, which is nothing more than what you hear people call stem cells. That's why when they were arguing over embryos, which is an unborn, they were looking for the cells from that baby. Because stem cells are baby cells and they're just like children, very vibrant, very active, and anything around them, it generates energy. And that's what stem cells does for your regular cells. And then the aloe builds a protective coating around your cells to prevent disease, bacteria, viruses, and toxins from invading the cells. So the cells can keep you healthy. So these are just small tidbits. Watch what you put in your body. The old cliche is correct. You are what you eat. You have to understand your body is a gift. God is holding you accountable for how you take care of that gift. The day of reckoning for you when the books of life are open, you can't say, well, the doctor did that. He's not asking the doctor. He's asking you, what have you done to help yourself? And just imagine, our bodies are the temple in which God lives. Well, if you don't ever clean it, he's living in a cesspool. You have to remember, he loves you in spite of what you do to yourself, but you don't love him enough to keep your body cleansed. So he could have a decent home. So you have to think about all these things that you're doing, not just to yourself, you're doing it to God, and you're doing it to your family members, because if you keep doing it, you're not going to be around long. You're not. It's just that simple. If you don't stop it and change your ways, drink water, eat properly, rest, exercise, and it will bring a smile on your face because your health will improve. The sadness, the hurt, the pain, and the suffering will have to leave. I've seen too much hurt and suffering and pain. It's time to turn the page. It's time to evaluate. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself some questions about how are you taking care of you. And if you don't know, we can help you take care of you. And all I have to say is this. It's been tough. It's been rough. It brought me back to the days when I did cancer research to see this number of people suffering, battling with cancer. You have the power to change it. You have the authority to change it. You have the means to change it. Your health and your life is your responsibility. Please, if you do nothing else for anyone else, I plead with you, take care of you. Take care of yourself. You can't lend a helping hand to someone else when you're sick. In order to help someone else, start with you. And watch how your health in your life becomes a pleasure, a joy, happiness, and you love living. You have what God wanted for you, abundant life. You can't have abundant life if you're sick. It's impossible. So that's my little speech for tonight. I'm pleading and begging. So that's it. And thank you for listening.
Well, thank you very much, Miss Rebecca. I always learn so much listening to you. I really appreciate you.
You're quite welcome.
At this time, we will open up for any questions or testimonies.
Hello,
Yes.
my name is Carol, and I have a friend that's going through, I'll say friend slash client that's going through uterine cancer. And seemed like last year, all I got was calls of from people that have cancer now. One lady beat it. So she started taking the aloe and it stopped her from bleeding. She was hemorrhaging. They put her in the hospital. They gave her, transfusion. And I snuck some aloe to the hospital for 3 days. And the second day she said she stopped hemorrhaging. They sent her home, sent her to the rehab because she stopped walking. And then they sent her home. And I already knew what that meant when they sent her home in the hospital bed. So they started chemo and radiation. And she called me the other day. She said she's been vomiting a lot. So I asked her, was she taking the aloe? And she said, no, she just thought she was supposed to take it to stop bleeding. So I'm trying to tell her, take it every day.
Yes, yes.
And so I asked her, she said the radiation doesn't hurt, but it's the after effects.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked her, I was trying to get her to tie the ends together. So I asked her, when she does radiation, does she pass clots? And she said, yes. I said, well, you told me you pass clots with the aloe. And she said, yes. I say, so do you see the correlation? But she sounds so weak now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to do for her. Because I can't go in her house and then make her drink it. But I'm just trying to get her to see how important it is that she drinks it no matter what. She started back taking it for 1 day, and she said she was able to sleep. It brought her out of pain. I guess she's in pain when the clots pass,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it allowed her to sleep. And then she stopped taking it again. So I don't understand that. All I know is it's real. I hear the good side effects of this aloe every day. And so anyway, that's kind of sort of my testimony. It's for another person that can't speak for herself right now.
Thank you, Carol. We really appreciate you sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Well, if we don't have any more comments or questions or testimonies.
Well, let me just say this to Carol. You know why the bleeding stopped? What actually happens is the aloe seals the vessels the blood vessels, to prevent the bleeding. She's making a terrible mistake by not taking it. And a lot of the clots that you see coming out of her, that's part of the cancer. But aloe vera will only work if you drink it. It can't work if you don't drink it. And as long as she's taking radiation, it is weakening her immune system. It will eventually collapse, and that will be it for her. It is heartbreaking to hear that she's suffering intentionally. She doesn't have to. You've introduced her to her healing, but she has to have enough belief, enough trust to actually take it. You've done your part, and I understand how you feel because I've seen it myself. I've gone through it with other people, and you just have to walk away saddened.
Right, right.
Because that was a life that could have been saved, but because of the unbelief, they lost their lives. And it's nothing you can do about it, except pray that they make it wherever they're on their way to.
Right, right.
So that's what happens.
I have one other personal comment. I'm bad about drinking enough water. And I remember what you told me, I need to drink enough water. So I was telling my sister, who's a retired nurse, and I was telling her as best I could remember, is that it cleans out the cells on a cellular level, which creates cellular debris. And she said, if you don't drink water, you're going to have a kidney issue because it'll clog the kidney up.
Yep.
And so, which explains why the last week I've been feeling very tight in my back. And I've been drinking it. I got the memo. So I've been drinking it a lot. So I just want to spread the word to please find you some good water that you like and just drink it.
Yep.
Just drink it.
Yep. And you know, I don't understand when I hear people say they don't like water. If 75% of your body weight is water, how could you not like it? I'm just perplexed by that.
Well, I found that different waters, one year I went to Little Rock, was it Hot Springs, Arkansas. That was some of the best water I have ever in my life tasted. And it looked white, but it ended up being full of bubbles. Once the glass sat there, it got clear. But different places, their water tastes different, and just the same way with the bottled water. So I found with my mother, who's 96, if I buy her a particular water, she doesn't know, but I just thought she would like it better. She drinks it. So if you try to find some kind of water, hydrated water, whatever bottled water you like, find something you like and drink it. That's all I can say. And it doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, they have different tastes. Some waters, to me, they taste heavy. Some taste light. I don't know what to say, but it's real. That's all I have to say is that my back pain is letting up some. So I found me some water, and that's what I've been doing. Is just I'm staying on top of it.
And you're absolutely right. And here's why water have different tastes in different parts of the country. It's being treated by different chemicals. Different places treat the water with different chemicals. And a lot of these places do not replace these pipes that this water comes through. And over the period of time, water can get through anything, any place, and anywhere. Water will pick up the bacteria and fungus that lies in the pipes. they use a lot of chlorine to try and cleanse the water. But again, if the water has to go back through the pipes, you can use all the chlorine you want. It is still picking up the bacteria. And so in different parts of the country, you have different water plants, as they call them, where they're purifying this water. And it's never, some of them boil it, but what they do is they add chemicals to it. So a lot of the different tastes that you're tasting is chemicals that different parts of the country uses. So you're still drinking water that is not healthy. Again, you can purify it yourself. Either freeze it or boil it. And you taste the difference and you see the difference, because bacteria cannot live in a boiling environment and it can't live in a frozen environment. But every other environment, it can survive. And as long as it's in the water, it's going into your system.
So what vessel should a person use for freezing it? I like the idea of freezing.
Actually, you can get, you got to be careful with plastic, depending on the kind of plastic it is. I don't know how big your freezer is, but if you have a stainless steel bowl or something that can fit in it, you can freeze it in that and it won't crack.
Okay.
But anything else, you got to be careful, because just like boiling, freezing can break down the chemicals in a particular pot. And you definitely can't freeze grass, and you definitely don't want to freeze plastic, because it has carcinogens that can be released in the water. So if you have something that's stainless steel that you can freeze it in, you can do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any more questions, comments, testimonies? If you didn't get your question answered tonight, just send us a text, or you can email us at abch.avjuice@gmail.com. The phone number is 202-556-3181, and leave a message. So it's 9:01. We're out of time. We would like to thank all of you for being here with us tonight. We really appreciate it, and we hope you learned something. We hope you will start drinking water, which I am starting. And we will be here next month, the 10th of June at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This, the Untitled Body Cleanser and Healer, Aloe Vera Juice, can, Miss Rebecca, are you at the farmer's market yet?
Oh, yes, I'm glad you reminded me. The farmer's market will start June 4th at 10 o'clock from 10 to 3. So June 4th, all of these people that we meet at Pentagon City will be at the farmer's market. So, and let me give you the address. hold on 1 second. I'll give you the address. I forgot all about it. Thank you, Alice, for reminding me.
You're
'Cause
welcome.
I certainly forgot. I had so much going on. But let me give you the address for the market. It is going to be at Elizabeth, what is that? St. Elizabeth, where the
Yes.
barns are. It's 2700. Before I give you the wrong information, let me make sure I do this right. 1 second. 1 moment.
It's posted, Alice. It's right there at the bottom. Is 611 Alabama Avenue Southeast?
No, it's not there anymore.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a new address. 1 second, let me get it for you. No, it's not there anymore.
Okay. Well, let me remove that slide.
Oh, I don't see that.
I have it. I just have to get it. I forgot all about that. Yeah, Barbara, do you have it? I sent it to you in an email. Let me see something.
Yeah, let me see if I can find it, Miss Rebecca. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, it's
That shouldn't be a problem.
2700, I think. Let me just make sure, because I don't want to give you the wrong information, because I forgot all about it. But yes, the market will start June 4th at 10 o'clock. And I'm not sure when it ends. I'll have to get more information from John. But instead of coming to Pentagon City, you can then go to St. Elizabeth. It's called the Barns. For those of you who are familiar with St. Elizabeth, it's near where the old chapel
Like it's
was.
2700. It's 2700 Martin Luther King Avenue. South.
It's 2700. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought it was. And then when you get there, it's where the barns are. I'm not that familiar with St. Elizabeth. I've been there several times, but that's where it's going to be starting June 4th at 10 o'clock.
And that's Martin Luther King Avenue?
Yes,
Okay, 2700 Martin Luther King Avenue.
right. Mhm.
Okay,
And they specifically said the barns,
okay,
BARNS.
okay. All right, thank
And
you.
and that's 10 until what time?
to 3,
Okay,
10 to 3.
okay.
Okay. Well, Ms. Rebecca, do you have anything else?
No, the only other thing that I spoke about it earlier. Take care of yourself, please, because cancer is coupling with this virus. And when you get the virus, you just don't have the virus, you're dealing with cancer. So please take care of yourselves.
Okay. Well, thanks to all of you for coming tonight. I hope you learned something, and I hope you remember to drink your water.
Please.
Thank you and have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks to everyone, and be safe and be healthy and drink lots of water.
Thank you.
And we will see you next month.
Yeah, see you next month.
Good
Have a
night.
good one.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.